Hello, 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 everybody in the English school. Hope you're all keeping well and hope you're all keeping safe. Now, this evening, I've decided to do a very special video, a special recording of one of my favourite activities and pastimes. Now, just because I'm in lockdown does not mean I'm going to be teaching, or planning. I'm going to share with you some very special things. And for students, not only in my class, but in any of the other teachers' classes who want to participate, feel free. Everyone is welcome. Now, today is a very special day in the world as it's called National Poetry Day. National poetry is a good way of self-expression. It's a good way of being imaginative with words. Some rhyme, some don't rhyme, some leave you thinking, some leave you maybe feeling different emotions. There are lots of different poetry from different times. There's love poetry, ooh la la. There is comical poetry, dramatic poetry, horrific poetry, poetry of dreams, something which I have worked with, poetries of body, mind, and of our own individuality and individual spirit. I do apologise, there was a fly in front of me. But one of my favourite areas of poetry is war poetry, poetry from the Great Wars. And one of my favourite writers from studying English when I was in school to growing up is a poet called Wilfred Owen. Now, Wilfred Owen was a poet in the early 20th century who was in the actual war, and a lot of his famous poetry was actually based on things that happened in the war. Now, the poem that I am going to read is called Anthem For Doomed Youth. It is a classic poem. Anyone who studies English literature, and if you're studying this kind of poetry, you are very, very likely to see this poem. It expresses the different things it talks about different themes. There's death, what happens during the war, the processes of what one might be feeling during that time. That life itself is not a mockery. It is not a mockery. It's nothing to be made a joke of. It's nothing to be made a joke of. And the noises that occur in the war, like sounds of the guns, bombs going off, different things like that. And that life itself can be representations of candles. You know, as the famous Shakespeare saying, all the world's a stage and we are its players. Meaning, we come onto the stage in life, we leave the stage in death. That is really what we do. But it also leaves the hope of what happens after death, the afterlife. Even though a lot of soldiers, I'm giving you a little bit of a history lesson about this, a lot of soldiers died very young. Some of them, a lot of them died very young, and the afterlife, you may wonder what could happen, what could have happened. But we don't live in a life where there's woulda, shoulda, coulda, or would have, could have, should have. So it also talks about not to take life for granted. Well, that's my interpretation of this poem. And it's a really, really good poem. And I suggest that anyone who in the school who watch this video, teachers or students who watch this video, please feel free to share your favourite poems. I would love to hear them, okay? So, this is Wilfred Owen's Anthem for Doomed Youth. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries now for them, no prayers nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all, not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes, shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers, the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. It's a very interesting poem, isn't it? I just want to, anyone who's a little bit younger, there's a bit of complex vocabulary. So, cattle, in case you did not know, is cows. Moo, roar, cattle. Monstrous. Monstrous is a very strong adjective. So monstrous is like enormous, big. Anger of the guns, only the stuttering. It means it's no consistency. The patter. It's like that noise. Patter of tiny feet. Of hasty. You hear a word in that called horizons. Horizon. What you see in the distance. What you see in front of you. No mockeries. Now for them. No prayers nor bells. Nor any voice of mourning save the choirs. So no one is crying. So there's no need for singing. So people, because sometimes there's a choir when people die. Shrill. Shrill is a very like high pitched sounds like ow, but like that. Of wailing shells. Wailing shells, constant. You're hearing it constantly. A bugle is an instrument which is like a horn. Go like it's a bugle, calling the name from sad shires. So different parts of the world, different parts of the lands. Different parts of the lands is a shire. Another one is glimmer. Glimmer is like sort of like something that shines through. You know, glimmers and goodbyes. The pallor. So pallor, like sort of like palette. It's like very old style, very like palette, like sort of the makeup, what you see. And dusk is another word. Dusk, literally, it's like if you look outside my window here, we are at dusk, the sun is setting. So in this life, the sun is setting. Okay? So, all I want from you is for you to share your poem. Share your poem with us, with myself and with the school. And if you have a Spanish poem and you know an English translation, please share it because I would love to hear from it. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed this, and this is something a little bit different from everything that's going on in this world. Be happy, stay safe, and, well, I could say rock on, but that's when everything is back to normal, we'll be doing a lot of that. So be happy, stay safe, don't worry, and see you all soon. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.